If you're an Amazon or e-commerce seller, you know that Q4 is winning time. The last 3 months of the year for Christmas is the busiest time of year for Amazon and e-commerce selling. You could generate over 50% of your sales in the last couple months if you do it right. But at the same time, I see a lot of sellers making the same mistakes with inventory, paying too much in storage fees, not planning for Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotions, or not even getting their orders in from overseas so that they have inventory in stock. That's why today we're going to break down your Amazon and e-commerce Q4 seller success blueprint. We're going to walk you through the entire steps starting from the beginning of Q4 until the end so you don't miss anything. And I'm very excited. We have two guest presenters with us. Sebastian Herz, he's the leader of Signify Global Sourcing. He's a sourcing expert, and Ephraim from Tactical Logistics, and he's going to walk you through the Q4 logistics checklist. All right. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and we're going to get into this. So my goal today is to help you get the complete guide to maximize your Q4 sales for Amazon selling while protecting your margins. All right. So before we get started, why are we doing this? The reason is because Abraham Lincoln said it best. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree. I'm going to spend the first 4 hours sharpening my axe. Okay, why? Because if you're just going in with the blunt instrument, you can be spending so much effort, so much strength, and you're going to be sweating your head off, and the tree's not even going to topple over because the blade isn't sharp, right? The same thing applies for your e-commerce business, right? You have to sharpen the axe. You have to make sure your listings are ready. You have to make sure your orders are placed. You have to make sure your pricing is negotiated so you have margins. You're not going to get killed by the tariffs, right? You have to make sure you got to have your Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals ready to go and all of your inventory in the warehouse. That's why today we're going to show you how to sharpen your axe of your Amazon e-commerce business, right? So we're going to include strategies for Q4 sourcing, logistics preparation, inventory management, cash flow, the life flow of your business. Make sure you have enough to scale during the holidays, Black Friday, Cyber Monday marketing, and also scaling your team, both using VAs and with AI. We're going to share with you some tools later, and we're actually going to have a checklist that you can get as well. And then at the end, we have an opportunity for you to join our Q4 Accelerator. So on a high level, this is the success timeline. We're going to start from July all the way until December. We're going to cover sourcing, negotiations, listing optimizations, scaling, backup plans, Black Friday, and peak season management. But the thing is, time is running out. Action is required right now. Okay. So first off, I'd like to hand it over to Sebastian Herz. He's the managing director at Signify Global Product Sourcing, and he's going to share with you the Q4 sourcing checklist. So I'm going to turn things over to Sebastian.
No kids, we have no pets, nothing yet. But on the other hand, three motorcycles, a few businesses. Ourselves, we're still sellers. We have two own brands, sell on Amazon, sell on Shopify. In Germany, I was during Corona before and so on more than like 1,000 big box retail stores, and now we're hitting it again with the two brands. I call our lovingly ladies the queens of profit because they helped our clients to save more than $500 million by now. I think soon we should be hitting about $1 billion in cost savings. With three other companies, Avast, Tita, and Scale Fortinet, we have another company where we do worldwide Amazon events called Scale for Retail, even though this is a bit quiet right now. I help others to bring products into retail, into big box, and this is maybe one of the most interesting things, I'll come to this in the very end, Sellers Unite. Just about a week or two ago, I founded a seller movement to say we gotta stand up and we gotta show those problems to Amazon. And I'm running out there, I'm showing my accounts, I'm showing my name if anybody's afraid of getting their account locked, which Amazon won't do. But addressing all of the issues that we as sellers have, and we gotta speak up. But more to that later on. So, Gary, I just took a screenshot here. I know the bubbles there are not right when we're starting to talk about August. Now, if you're in there and you want to find new suppliers, you're looking for this, do me the favor, start this now. Why? Because if you do a good sourcing, on the other hand, you will need 3, 4, 5 weeks. Not because of you, not because of the sourcing company or any other sourcing companies most of the times, but because the suppliers don't always answer. And then negotiating left and right with them. And don't look for 2 or 3 suppliers, target to find 30. And that does take time, all this communication. And then, of course, thinking about products. But in parallel, while this can be done, you know what? Check your current inventory. check who was last in Q4 last year, the winners and the losers. Why? Well, so that you can forecast the Q4 demand, right? You know what you will need. You know what you probably get a little bit more of. You know what you probably just, I'm dropping some of my products. First of all, the ones that like really not profitable. It was painful now to lose like 2,000 sales a month because I dropped off that one not slow selling, fast selling product, but not much margin. And see, if I'm just losing money on it and it's like giving out a business card, may be good, but just focus on what brings money.
Yeah, I think
Um,
Sebastian, that's a very important point. Like audit your SKUs, right? Focus on
yes.
the winners, 80-20 rule, right? Maybe you have 10 products, maybe only two of them are profitable, they're doing a lot of sales. The other eight, like what Sebastian said, right? You got to cut some of the losers. Some of them they're in the red, they're not making money, especially right now with the tariffs, right? You got to be super careful. You really got to like, almost be penny pinching, so to
I mean,
speak,
don't
right?
necessarily completely get rid of them, but sometimes it's maybe worth it pausing them, right?
Yeah.
But I've been
Yeah.
figuring out for some of my products, I sell them for like $6 or $7, and guess what? There's no profit in there. There's nothing.
Exactly.
Amazon earns it all. The government gets the rest. My supplier gets something, shipping and stuff, of
Trump is
course.
taking his tariffs, yeah, out of our pockets, and yeah,
Exactly. Yep.
yeah,
But now, when you have this, I mean, you just think it's like a good quality search. Do it also on your own. I mean, target to find 30, right? Go in and calculate in several weeks because you will sometimes, I jokingly always say, when you go to China, you will need to contact them and maybe contact them again and maybe again in order to get one out of your 7 questions answered. But do this in any of the other countries, you need to contact them 7 times to get one question answered. It is that way. It's just China is so good at selling, the rest of the world isn't really. But now, don't want to go too deep into this again, it would take way too long. But when comes September, you should be ready then to have the samples on the table, to look at them and say, hey, okay, if the samples are okay, let's make those the golden samples and we're ready to hit mass production, get it started. And if possible, if you still need stock or anything for new products or for the existing ones that you have, early mid-September, you should place your mass production because that one will, of course, also usually, what is it? I just put a number in there of what's quite often average, like 25 to 35 days. Now, if you imagine this, then you're in September, right? You're placing this, and then September is pretty much over, and you still don't have the products. So start preparing on the other hand in parallel while waiting for production. I mean, make your listings, update them or create new ones. Look into A plus content, right? But now another thing that I've done several years past prior, it can sometimes be so simple as taking your main image and putting a Christmas hat on the side. You're exchanging like the main images and maybe also, of course, the other secondary images and make it a little bit of Christmas style. People are getting into the mood, right? People do want to see something, and I personally, as a buyer on Amazon, of course, I'm the same victim as everybody else. I do shop there, um, and if I see somebody's updating their listings, okay, maybe that's the sickness of a seller. Of course, we know what's going on in the background, but I feel those guys, they're up to speed. They're doing something. Those guys most likely also have a good quality. Those guys are probably sellers who were very, very active. I do have the hope that the end consumer has the same thinking, or at least, gets a little smile, and that may be increasing your conversion rate. If you keep the same listings over and over again, summertime, why should I buy them right now? Put a packaging around it, put a ribbon around it. It doesn't mean it needs to come in this thing. But hey, you know what? Maybe I need that product, but I could also make this a gift. Get those people, get those buyers to think about it's like, I'm not gonna buy this for myself. I'm gonna make one office present. I'm gonna buy it 10 times so I'm done with my office. I'm done with my friends and my family. At least I have the first part of the products done. You know what? I think I ordered 20 units instead of just having one. Give them the idea that those are gifts. Gary, I think you were about to say something?
no, that's a really great point. I mean, everybody's in the holiday, like the shopping mindset, so we're like, changing the hat, right, from like the regular season to like the holiday season, right? So like
From
what
your
he
beach
said,
hat, Gary, to the Christmas hat. Exactly.
for my Panama hat to the Christmas hat. We're not
There you
quite
go.
there yet. We're still in July, but once we get there, I'll have my Santa hat on. But the same thing with your
I'm
listings,
taking you
right?
by the
Think
word.
about
Next webinars, I want to see you with Santa hat.
if it's in December, I'm happy to do it, man. But
I'll do the
let's
same.
focus on this. Let's make sure we give the sellers watching the value they want. But yeah, I
Right.
agree. Christmas themed listings, images, copying. Think about like the quantity, like multi packs. It's good stuff. Yep.
But the
Oh,
same
but a
also,
lot of
please
people also do. But a lot of
go
people
ahead.
also
Yep.
do there's this famous thing. This year I didn't see it as much, but Christmas in July. It's a famous marketing theme. So you have a lot of these companies that sell Christmas products where
Yeah.
they have stock from last year where they're
Yeah.
trying to get rid of. So they
Yeah.
do like a
Yeah.
big promotion in July to get rid of it, so they can bring in the new stock for the newest season. So it's called in the
Yeah.
U.S. It's called Christmas in July.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
I would research that. I would look at the keyword search volume. I mean, that's a great point,
I mean, it's
Ephraim.
another
And
great point,
we're
like a
and
Black
in the
Friday or
U.S.
Cyber Monday.
we're not just isolated to Christmas. I mean, there's Hanukkah, there's Kwanzaa, and then going into Q4. I mean, Halloween comes up first before that, right? So like all of these are opportunities for you guys to target your audience. I mean, like holiday eyes your listings,
That's my
right?
next slide.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going.
Sure. Copy is also one of the things that you can adjust, not only the images, because believe it, there's still some people out there who read bullet points. I hardly ever do, but people do. And you know what you can drop in there as well? The idea to make it a gift, or put some Christmas themes in there, or put some other Christmas keywords in there, same as like,
Yep.
start planning your PPC keywords like Christmas gift for grandmother or something like
Yep.
this, right?
That's
Those are
right.
also keywords that you can use and address. Now, if we're moving on, and then we're thinking we're in October then already. And we need to ship that stuff over here, and we all know that sometimes, whatever the Houthis, the Suez Canal back then, all the troubles, the overproduction, and then, all the ships are being booked out again, or the vessels. So you got to be aware that, of course, it may also take longer time for delivery because, like, everybody starts running. It's like, it always comes as unpredictable as a Chinese New Year. It's always unpredictable, and everybody forgets and say, "Oh yeah, I need to order quickly." So, and there could be even some other ways when you say and you do not know, or sorry, you think you will not get the stuff in time. One of the ways that you could do is like airship an initial stock. So take like 10, 20, 30% or so of your products and just, yeah, it will be more expensive, but put them on a plane and ship them over. So you do have some stock, say, for the first couple of weeks to cover, right? And the rest can then come when you say by sea. It may be 55, it may be even up to 70 days or so when you have the delays and the longer. Sometimes it's even longer. But you need to also think like, it's not only the sea time, it's the packing, it's the loading, it's the export, it's the import, it's the custom that are sleeping the whole time. Oops, did I say that? No, sorry. I mean, obviously the customs also quite often take some time. It may be that your products stand there for a week or two at the customs not getting out because they're too busy.
Yeah.
So I do this quite often actually, that I do myself for some of the products, do some airship, and then the rest comes by sea. Just because, of course, also saving costs. In parallel, start doing, here we come, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, we have Halloween, start whatever specific promotions in emails, in ads. You can, the same thing, adjust images, maybe run A/B experiments to see, hey, does it work better if I now put a Halloween pumpkin in there as well, or a witch on a broom? Um, Start switching then, of course. I mean, sorry, maybe in October, maybe even November already, to start putting the listings up in there. People start shopping for Christmas, right? Now, also look into get yourself an inventory buffer so that you do have enough stock. And that's the last thing that I'm gonna put in one of the slides is actually how you will never, hopefully never, ever, ever run out of stock again. November, marketing and fulfillment. I mean, what do you got to do? Of course, start promotions, start the lightning deals. Work, of course, also on the PPC campaigns even harder. Look into retargeting. And Gary, I think we're sharing the presentation later, right? So whether people take screenshots or you send this over.
We'll have a cheat sheet, so we'll summarize everything that we cover into a cheat sheet. Everyone that
Let me know
RSVP
what you
will
need.
get
I'll
that by
send it.
email afterwards. And
Good.
if you're watching the replay, comment below Q4, and then we'll send you with the link to grab that.
Yep. Um, Same thing here, cross-sell, bundle offers, because sometimes, people buy different things as a bundle during different seasons of the year. Like in the summer, you may buy whatever products that go, of course, with hotter temperatures. In the winter, something that you use in front of your fireplace. Whether you would use a book outside at the beach or a book in front of the fireplace, you may need additional complementary products, right? Just as one example that comes to my mind. And if you do FBM, why not? Why not take the extra effort and do some gift wrapping? Pack it nicely, stand out from all the products and everything that arrives there. Or make it a small ribbon on there. Or you know what? Go into the dollar shop and buy those little ribbon thingies. You peel it off, bam, stick it, send it out. Make something special. And put nice inserts in there, maybe even a greeting card. I do this quite often, a picture of my better half of myself from one of our brands. And I write a short letter back on there, say, hey, thank you so much. Or I even take from my one brand a picture, like a postcard, and I write something, hey, best greetings here by now, right now, actually from our second startup, bam, 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 the address, hope everything is going well, just put this in there. And this way they'll look at the nice picture, we're standing and screaming and happy, and all of a sudden that client starts knowing that there's another great brand out there he could consider. Now, we're hitting December, and it's really, really, of course, all about the time to get the max sales, and focus on a long plan means don't stop. Don't stop like 4 or 5 days before Christmas because people would stop shopping because, oh, it may not arrive. Most people may have done their Christmas shopping already. Yeah, but you know what? I sometimes even go out on the 24th, which is the Christmas day in Germany, not the 25th like in the US, and I'm still going out and buying some presents. Or I'm ordering something the day before and it's like, hope this still arrives on the day. If not, then I go visit the family one day later, or like the, relatives and so on, not the direct family. People do shop until the last day, and they continue shopping afterwards. Because once you sat down with the family, what's happening on Boxing Day, 25th, 26th? People start being nice with the family, all happy and jolly, and then they end up on the couch sitting in front of the TV and dawdling on their phone, and it's like, I have $300 gift cards just gotten from Amazon for Christmas. Let's go shopping, right? They continue. And they buy themselves the stuff, and people give more and more gift cards. Because to be honest, yeah, my parents will come here tomorrow. I hope it's going to be a good present. Or if they just give me cash to say, go decide on your own what you're going to buy yourself. Because what happens most of the time, people give presents and they don't use them. Maybe money is the better choice. Same, last minute FBM sales, Christmas style packaging, right? And this is one of the things that we do know from all of those extra special sales days. More sales also means more returns. And that's, if you're not prepared for this, all of a sudden the pile adds up and it's like, what are you going to do with this? Be prepared that you may need the help of an apprentice or a, what do you call, like a student worker or so. Think now
Intern.
already, of course, you need to restock as well. And if you still want to do after Christmas, like, hey, got your silly gift card, want to start spending it? Or hey, why don't you return your socks that you don't like and buy something else? Make funny stuff, whether on social media and or in emails, or maybe, I don't know, why not give this a try also in the Amazon listings? And the final tip, it is not just a holiday, it's like a whole theme, and you see it goes on for months. You can focus everything pretty much also on gifts. People think for themselves, but people think in this time so much about others. And how easy is it to get one good product and buy it 10 times and be done with Christmas shopping? So focus on that and think of gifts. I hope that everybody, everybody, no question, knows it. But the part of doing it is the other one where I would say is like, that's the tough one. Images, bullet points, PPC keywords, obviously, and when you do external promotion, email flows as well. And here comes one of the things that I still want to say. I give this just ahead, like pretty much to anybody. This may be very well worth it for you not to lose any rank. Hopefully never to run out of stock again. I wanted to put a picture of my local stock here. Luckily, I have like small products, but I have thousands or 10,000s of products down in the basement because they're also small. When you make your next order, and that's what seems like, I don't know why, but most people don't do this. Start ordering always a few more units than what you would need. and say if you order 1,000 units, make it 1,200 or 1,500, and then take those 200 and those 500, put it in a separate room, close that door and lock it, and don't ever be tempted to touch that until that moment when you may run out of stock. Then you're allowed to, and only then, if it doesn't have a best before end date, if so, you need to go whatever FIFO, first in, first out, look for getting rid of them as well. But build yourself an out of stock stash, an out of stock emergency storage room that you never ever touch unless beep hits the fan, right? Then you can do this, and you can build this up a little bit more over time. So I hope this was a bit of an overview. Feel free, this one here on the right side is my own WhatsApp channel. This is also if you want to book a call, help with cost reduction, find suppliers or so, but I don't want to promote it for too long. The other thing that I'd like to show, by the way, yeah, 10% off, Gary. I hope this is something when they mention your name, so they also get 10% off of the first invoice. But this is the thing, the Sellers Unite. It's based on WhatsApp so far. The German group has now more than 550 members, and we're putting out there, collecting all the main troubles that we're having with incompetent seller support. I'm sorry to say that. We know it doesn't work. Illegal product returns, cheating customers where they still get A to Z guarantees all the money back. And I'm standing out there, and you can see it on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook, on, what did I forget? I don't know. WhatsApp status.
Yeah.
I put public words out there, but the target is constructive and cooperate or work with Amazon together, because guess what? They don't hear us. In Germany, we have associations. They're doing a very good job, but they're not as fast. It's just a few people. Amazon doesn't even hear the main problems that we have and doesn't want to believe in it and says, oh, seller support works. I guess every one of you out there knows that seller support doesn't work, and we need to show clear examples how it doesn't. Because the leadership in Germany that I spoke to, they don't believe it or say, oh, this is all working. No, it's not. No, it's really not. Again, no hating, no bashing, no nothing. Cooperative and constructive as sellers together with Amazon.
Yeah,
and Gary, that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sebastian. I think that's great. And just to highlight, Sebastian, if you do need some help sourcing, Signify is offering a 10% off their sourcing services, and also you can get a free product sourcing request. Go to signify.net and also scan the QR codes. Thank you so much, Sebastian.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
I know you got some other important matters. If you have to jump,
I gotta get my friends drunk.
Yeah, well, maybe the after party. We'll join you. All right. But thank you so much. But feel free to stay. Yeah, if you would like to stay, feel free. Anyone have any questions, feel free to drop in the chat. All right. Thank you so much, Sebastian.
Thank you, guys.
I'd like to...
Thank you. Enjoy your birthday.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Okay, next, I'd like to welcome Ephraim Ausch, and he will give a Q4 logistics preparation checklist. So, Ephraim, the show is yours.
Sure. Thank you. I click on screen or presentation. Screen.
You can share your entire screen
Yes,
if that's easier for you.
Yeah. There we
Looks
go.
great.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you so much, Gary, for having me on. And it's good to be here. And it was exciting to meet Sebastian too. He's an old friend. I didn't see him in a long time, actually. So today we're going to talk a little bit about navigating logistics, AWD challenges, basically logistical challenges in Q4 that I have seen, unfortunately, really screwing up people's businesses, and basically how to try to avoid certain things and getting in trouble like that. So I love that part where Sebastian said, like, order some extra units and keep it as a safety net. So I'm a very big supporter of that. Always have an option B to have product put away somewhere. So it could be in a 3PL, it could be in your own house, it could be in a warehouse, it could be anywhere. Just always know if you're stuck with something, you always have where to take a product from. So that was a very important factor where I've seen many sellers be successful that way because they were stuck with a shipment that went through Amazon. They knew they had other stock and they got it much quicker into Amazon through a different route, and they didn't run out of stock. So that's something really important. So a little bit about tactical. Myself, I was a seller from 2011 till 2017. So I think I'm considered an OG of Amazon sellers. I've gone through. I remember when I spent $5,000. Sorry, I spent $18 on my first month with PPC when Amazon was a new thing, and it gave me $5,000 in revenue. So go tell someone today you spend the 18,000 PPC, you maybe get $0 in sales out of it. So, so I've been part of this Amazon community for a long time. And over the years, I migrated to, I changed my position. I sold my business and joined a family business that's called Tactical. My dad is the founder. He started the company. And today it's, we have, I think, close to 200 employees currently. But I have my little brother. Brother just joined the company a year ago. So it's me, my two brothers, and then a bunch of other amazing employees. So I love being part of it. And obviously, I love being part of the community. I love to help sellers. So what Tactical does, we're an end-to-end supply chain and logistics partner. We have a couple divisions. We're a licensed freight forwarder, so we import product. We have 3PL warehousing, mainly in the West Coast, a little bit on Jersey, on the East Coast as well. And then we do a lot of trucking services into Amazon as well. Within the warehousing, we have a couple of different divisions. So like you can see here, we do FBA prep, Walmart, things like that in e-commerce. We do maybe big box store retail or retailers, and then we do D2C as well, where those are the all new marketplaces where we help sellers. Our uniqueness is that all our employees get trained on how Amazon works because I lived through it myself. So all our managers know how to sell on Amazon. They know how it works. When there's a new rule or new changes, we right away jump on it, educate our customers or people out there. And in the same way, we have sellers that educate us as well at the same time. If something changes that we didn't know about it, I always have people come and tell me like, hey, what are you going to do about this and this new change? So we're always about tweaking our services to make sure that we can service Amazon sellers properly, because obviously that's the biggest e-commerce piece of our business. I had a webinar, what was it, like a year ago or so, with, I think it was Brandon Young. And I said, like, you know what, like it came to mind, the new thing in my head is like, we always bash Amazon, right? Like Amazon made these changes, this is so hard, it's such a struggle. And it was always like a negative thing, like the community, how we based our communities out there is like, how do we figure out things, how to be successful on Amazon, right? So we looked at always as Amazon is the enemy, we are the people, like how do we figure that out? And I changed my mind completely. It was like, you know what, like I'm going to say it very differently in a positive way, and I think it helped me out a lot, and I think it could help out a lot of people as well, is like Jeff Bezos or Amazon, however you want to call it, they keep on making changes. Every year there's new changes, new things. What is it doing to us as entrepreneurs? We start pivoting, right? So if Amazon would be an easy platform where we just list products and you have sales and you're successful and you're good to go, like you're never going to really get the skills that you're getting out of it right now, is where you really learn to pivot your business. You're always on your toes. You're never really calm and relaxing and enjoying selling on Amazon. There's always something that you have to work on, figure something out. So I say like, it's like for us as entrepreneurs, it really teaches us how to pivot, how to change different strategies, how to change, like if it's product, certain products did very well for a couple of years, it changed. Don't say stuck, oh my God, like my business is over. Like, no, look at the feedback, see what's out there, see what changed. In every aspect of it, you can look at it in a positive note that we're all entrepreneurs, right? Some of us are Amazon sellers, some of them are service, but whatever it is, it really helped me out a lot with my mindset. So I just want to put out there, like, it helped me out a lot to process it. Where no, I enjoy I enjoy the hustle.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ephraim. And I feel like in the business world or even in the real world, I mean, changes happen all the time this year, especially with the tariffs, the craziness. The only constant thing is change. It's just how we adapt to it as entrepreneurs, right? Whether Amazon's changing something, whether, Trump, the tariffs are changing something, or like COVID comes out of the blue, it's all how fast we adapt, right? So I think that's the one constant, that's one nugget I love that you just shared, Ephraim. I hope you guys can take that mindset, if nothing else. All right, let's keep going. Good stuff, Ephraim.
Exactly. So this is what we service. 75% of our business that we offer is for e-commerce sellers. 25% is still retail. That's how my dad started the company. As a founder, he started on the retail side. The marketplaces we support, that we have integrations with for D2C and for FBA or Walmart WFS. So what is at stake in this Q4? That's where we're going to get into it. Storage fees obviously spike in peak season. They go from, I think, 67, 68 cents up to $2.40 for standard size products, where you go from like paying, I'm looking on the pallet position size, you go from paying 60 something dollars a pallet in FBA storage versus $292 a pallet storage. So it's a huge difference in cost. So that's what was a very good thing Sebastian said earlier. Like, if you see products don't do well, don't sit on it long or get it removed, dispose it. Like, don't, because you're not going to realize Q4 hits and yeah, I sell 5 units a day, I'll keep it there. You don't realize how much it could really bite into your profit of your good selling product. So that's something to really keep in mind, is when you do send product into Amazon, be mindful about it. Obviously, Q4 sales are 2 times, 3 times, sometimes for people 4 times or more even than their usual all year round sales. But at the same time, keep in mind, don't, like a lot of new sellers make that huge mistake, is where they made 1,000 units of a product, right? And they go right away send 1,000 units into Amazon FBA without even knowing if this is going to sell or not, right? You don't realize how you just buried everything into that, because just in case this doesn't work out, you paid a ton of money for 1,000 units to sit in Amazon for storage. You're paying a lot of money to remove it if you want to remove it, or disposing it. So always be mindful. Is like test it, test the waters, right? See how it works. Obviously in Q4 I would send more than I would send in February if it's a seasonal product. But test the waters. Don't just, because you don't have a warehouse or because you don't know who to talk to, doesn't mean that you have to just dump everything in FBA. Amazon FBA is not a distribution center. They're not they're not a inventory center where they hold inventory. Amazon FBA is meant for product that comes in and goes out to customers. So if you don't have that sales proven yet, do not do that. It's going to screw up your sales velocity, your IPI score. It's going to screw up a lot of things for you, where you might have a second product coming in, but your IPI score is affected. You have limits. It's just a lot of things could go wrong when you test it out. So just take it slow when you test out a new product. Obviously, you have enough product to have that launched, because it's called the honeymoon period. Make sure you have enough stock, but test the water slowly. Or have an option where, okay, I'm going to send 200 units into Amazon, but after I sell 100 units and I see how much I'm selling a day, okay, how is my fastest plan how to get more product into Amazon? Have a safety net where you guarantee you're not going to run out of stock, but you can still fulfill, but you don't have to fill up FBA with so much product where you might regret it after that. Then we have a lot of people are using AWD. That's the newer option for the middle ground between FBA and yourself. If you don't have a warehouse, there's 3PLs out there, but AWD might be cheaper. It is cheaper for some people. Keep in mind that AWD is very delayed, especially in Q4, on 2 aspects. One aspect is before it hits AWD, to get product into AWD takes super long in Q4, especially in the West Coast, more than on the East Coast. Second part is that once you have product in AWD and now you want to transfer it into FBA, keep in mind that in Q4 I've seen 21, 27, 29 days from when you process that order from AWD into FBA till actually hit the shelves in FBA. So keep that in mind. Some products are different, some locations are different. But the average that I have seen last year was 21 days. I was at Prosper Show this year, and I met the head of AWD, and we had like a long 2-hour conversation. And he just told me, like, 2025 is not a year where they see any major improvement on their delays. So just keep that in mind, that if you have a great experience at AWD, do what you got to do, but just keep in mind to always have a safety net in a 3PL or in your own home, your warehouse, if you have your own warehouse, wherever it is, have a safety net where you have some product that's not an AWD, just in case your product is delayed, you have from where to pull product to be able to sell and not run out of stock. So that's super important.
That's a huge point, Ephraim. So
right.
let me just highlight that to make sure everybody understands. AWD, in theory, on paper, it sounds good because it's cheaper, and in theory you can drip feed, but in actuality, right? Especially in Q4, it's slammed, especially West Coast, because all those containers coming from China are hitting West Coast. Amazon AWD can't keep up, right? So, Ephraim, I believe you said it can take. I mean, there's a delay before AWD, and then before you get it in, it takes super long, and then after you place the order, it can take up to 29 days from AWD order to hitting the shelves FBA in Q4. Is that right?
Correct, yeah. So last year
Okay.
even they shut down AWD inbounds for a couple of weeks in the West Coast, like totally.
Yeah.
So
That's huge. I mean,
it,
like, imagine if you lost 29 days out of Q4, that's like, a third or even more of your sales, right? So make
right,
sure you got a safety net, whether you got your own 3PL, your own home, your warehouse, or someone like Tactical Logistics. You guys have those, right?
correct. Yep.
Okay. Okay. That's clear. Next.
So yeah, so we can help with that, and then again, if you're still a smaller seller and you have space in your garage or something like that, hold product there. You want to send it with UPS. It's still going to be faster than an AWD option. If you experience heavy delays, some people are not experiencing it in every area. They have certain areas in AWD like Texas or somewhere in the middle of the country where it's not as congested and it's much easier. Go for it. But the problem is if you're importing it from China and you bring it into the West Coast, it's going to cost you pretty expensive to take it from the West Coast going somewhere in the middle of the country, central or even the East Coast, where the whole savings that you would have with AWD is out the window because you spent it already on trucking to get it to AWD, not near where the product got imported from. So
Yeah,
that's
I
where
think let me just take a moment to pause. If you guys are watching, if you're using AWD, like, are you using AWD? Yes or no? Comment below and let us know how it's going. Is it like thumbs up, thumbs down? I'm just curious because it sounds like everyone's experience is different. If you're on West Coast, East Coast, Central America, etc. But yeah, I'm very curious. If you guys are using it, let us know. Are you using AWD? Yes, no, and how's it going? All right, next, Ephraim.
sure. So, and that's part of making the inventory mistakes, like I said, like it's all part of the same bubble. I'll go soon with a little bit of a checklist where you can actually look at certain aspects where you can have to help with that. And then obviously tariffs have created market uncertainty where it's not getting any better.
Yeah.
So, like every week there's a different change and a different update. India was deal, now no deal, it's 25%. So it's definitely tricky. So keep that in mind when you order your product, that a lot of people have made that mistake where they're not really calculating their duties properly, and they realize once they import the product, oh, it's costing me $1 more than I anticipated, and that's where half of your margin is. So keep in mind that's a super important aspect where when you go to your freight forwarder or your supplier, you're keeping that in mind. Like some people are doing DDP right now. That's delivery duties paid. That means that your supplier is providing it to your door, or your freight forwarder is providing it at your door for a flat fee. But in a lot of cases, if the duties were not calculated together with that, you get a surprise, and then it's not so exciting to get that surprise where it's 50% or it's 30% or it's 70%, because don't forget there is additional tariffs that came on this year. That's around 30%, and then for steel, it's higher. But you have the old original duties that didn't go away. So if your product had 20% original duties, and then Trump put on 2017 the 25%, that's 45%, and they have the additional 30% now, yet almost 70 or like 70%, right? So keep in mind where you calculate all of that and keep that in consideration. So that's something that's super important.
Definitely
Especially,
talk to your customs broker. The customs broker, they're like your accountant, your tax accountant.
correct.
They have all the duty rates, and it depends on your HST code. So every single product is different. So definitely talk to them to figure it
Right.
out. Yeah.
And we also have a tool for that as well. Like on our portal that we have for our freight forwarding, we have a landed cost tool, and then we also have like a HDS tool. So if you're not sure what your HDS code is, you could find it there. Or you could get a landed cost tool. Once you know your HS code, you could get a landed cost tool. It will tell you exactly how much duties you would pay on this product, depending how much you pay per unit for your supplier. So we can help with that, or customs brokers are very helpful with that. They usually know that like that.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a little bit about inventory deadlines. There's no deadlines yet for this year, but in the last 2 years, Amazon has pushed back a lot of their deadlines. Meaning to say, like their deadlines used to be in November for December. It used to be end of October, right beginning of November for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Last year, they pushed the Black Friday, Cyber Monday to have inventory at Amazon by October 19th. And I anticipate this year it might be the same or earlier even. So whatever Sebastian said, I agree with him, but I would push it 2 weeks earlier. I would say by October 1st, make sure your product is in the US. Don't play that game because Amazon wrote clearly last year, we're focused in September and October to receive product. We're focused in November, December to ship product to the customers. So when you ship a product to Amazon, usually you're going to see it gets received and then it goes into FC transfer. So the FC transfer in Q4 is a much longer experience than all year round. It takes longer till they actually get to the shelves, so keep that in mind. We also had Fall Prime Day, so first week of October, I would say is the right time to have products in for Fall Prime event. We don't know the dates this year, so it might be different. I'm just preparing you mentally that look out for it because it's going to be super important. Black Friday, Cyber Monday, like I said, October 19. And then holiday season, Christmas, have inventory at Amazon by end of October. 2 years ago, they were okay getting it by November 20th. This past year, it was October, the last day of October, where they wanted the product for December. So Amazon is really trying to, obviously they're capturing a lot of revenue that way because you're paying storage a lot higher in Q4 than all year round. But at the same time, obviously they ship millions and millions of products. And at some point, with machinery, with technology, they need that extra time to be able to stock up and be able to ship properly. So it makes a lot of sense. I would say try to keep to those deadlines. If you're off by it, do not use Amazon partner carriers for it. So if you're still sending it for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, after October 19, let's say you're sending it the last week of October, I would not recommend you to use Amazon partner carriers. You can use a third-party carrier. We can help with that, but if you have a third-party carrier that you used in the past, go for it, because Amazon partner carriers could take up to 4 weeks till it actually hits to get received sometimes in Q4. So just to give a little context on that, when you have Amazon partner carriers pick up your goods, they pick up the goods for your warehouse, they fill up a full truckload, they go to that Amazon location, they do not wait to get offloaded. They just go there, drop the trailer in their yard, they leave. Now Amazon has a priority list, which one came in first come, first serve, and that's how they go down the list to be able to offload the product. Versus a third-party carrier is not covered by Amazon's insurance. So that means LTL carriers are. So if you're using a common LTL carriers, they are covered by Amazon insurance. I think most of them. So a lot of them will drop their trailers in Amazon's yard, or there could be different reasons why they're not delivering it fast enough. That's because they only deliver on a certain time frame, and if Amazon doesn't have availability in that time frame, let's say from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m., if Amazon doesn't have availability in that time frame, they'll keep on pushing off the delivery date till they get the right time frame. So that's what the LTL carrier. But if you're using a full truckload or you have a third-party carrier that consolidates truckloads into Amazon, they make an appointment in Amazon. They're not covered by Amazon's insurance. What happens is they show up for their appointment time. Amazon has to offload them, check them in, offload them, and they could get dismissed and leave the Amazon warehouse. So with that said, if they're checking you in and they're offloading your product, automatically your product gets checked in, your product starts getting received. It goes faster into FC transfer because most of these facilities are transload facilities where they come in and then they go right out to a bunch of different fulfillment centers. So that's the huge benefit of using a third party. So if you are passing that deadlines, keep in mind to try to look for, or I could try to help if you guys are in my area, to be able to get your products into Amazon on a live unload appointment, it's called. And that's only done by third-party carriers. Amazon Freight also provides it, but not always and not in every location. So if you're using Amazon Freight, also make sure that it's going to be a live unload. Otherwise, it can sit not as long as Amazon partner carriers. It's funny, both are Amazon, but it's two different companies. But it can sometimes sit there a week or 8 days, 9 days in the yard till they actually get offloaded. So make sure of that. So I would say Q4 operations checkup is, are your shipments arriving on time? Like I said, I would say have everything in the US by October 1st. Have you missed or pushed Amazon appointments? That means, have you missed any appointments to get product into Amazon? If you're using third-party carriers, you know that could happen, unfortunately, if your driver misses his appointment, or Amazon pushes out the appointment where you're too full to capacity. They'll push out the appointment at a later date. So always keep that in mind. Be on top of it with your trucker that you're still on schedule, everything is going smoothly. If Amazon pushes out the appointment, they could only do that once. They can't do it more than one time. So if they push out their appointment, the question is when they push it out for. Maybe you have to use the UPS option where, yes, it's more expensive than a third-party carrier. It's more expensive than Amazon partner carriers trucking, the LTL service, but it will get your product in delivered quicker. So you have to look at all these options. Super important to keep an eye on that if you're using a third party. What's your peak storage cost per pallet? That's also super important. Amazon does not work per pallet. They work per cubic foot. But for context, an average pallet, I'll show it soon on the screen as well. An average pallet is 48 by 40 by 72 inches high. That's if you're filling up that full pallet, that's 80 cubic foot. The average is around 70. I would say most people could go up to 70. So if you keep in mind 70 cubic feet, if it's $2.40, let's say 240, I think is a per cubic foot times 70. That means you're paying $168 for that pallet. If it's 2.4 times 80, you're paying $192 a pallet. So keep in mind is Amazon charges per cubic foot, but how you imagine it, I send in 10 pallets into Amazon, you're potentially paying between 168 and 192 per pallet per month in Amazon storage facilities for Q4. So keep that in mind. And also, do you have 30 to 60 days at FBA and a buffer at 3PL? Like I said, like this is super important to have 30 to 60 days of worth of inventory. And also look at your last year's numbers. How much did you spike in Q4 versus all year round? Are you doing 2 times these sales? Are you doing 3 times these sales? That's how you plan how much to send into Amazon. Don't send in something blindly because you're gambling. You might pay a huge price for it and it doesn't pay. So that's what I would say is the best checkup that you could do. I don't know if you want to still go into this, but this is basically one of our new services that we provide. It's called Splitsmart by Tactical. It's a flat fee per pallet going to anywhere in the United States. So if you're in our warehouse or you're in another warehouse within a 50-mile radius around our California warehouse or even our New Jersey warehouse, it would be $220 a pallet. It's a flat fee. So if you paid placement fees in the past or you're concerned about AWD delays, this is something I could go in. I could speak an hour about this. I don't want to go in because we don't have the time. But the point is,
just give us the high level, please. We're
the high level. Basically, it's a faster time to shelf. It's one pickup where we split it up to 5 locations. There's no hidden fees. There's no placement fees. There's no anything. You're doing the Amazon 5-way split, where Amazon sends it, splits it into 5. If you would do the trucking yourself, you're probably going to pay more than that, or it's going to take you 3-4 weeks till it gets delivered. We get it delivered between it's 5 to 10 days, depending of where it goes to, and they get delivered and received at that time. You get full visibility, support. Obviously, you have a point of contact for that. The biggest thing is if you're paying placement fees, and a lot of sellers do pay placement fees, especially when you have smaller product. Your placement fees could be super high. But that's one thing, money. The second part is the actual spread that Amazon does. When you send it to one location, Amazon will spread it to a certain amount of FCs around the United States. When you send it to 5 locations, each of these 5 locations spread it to different facilities. So if you have a healthier spread on Amazon, that means that if your competitor is competing with you, but your competitor is in, let's say, in Florida, Miami, Florida, and your product didn't hit Miami, Florida because you paid placement fees and you went to one location in California, and Amazon never spread it to Florida, to Miami, Florida, what happens is your competitor's listing comes up higher than yours for 2 reasons. Number one is Amazon doesn't want to spend so much money on shipping labels internally to get it to you as a customer, so they'll push the competitor's listing that's a warehouse close by where it costs Amazon way less to spend the money to get it delivered to the customer. That's one reason. The reason number 2 is if me as a seller is browsing, I want to buy a water bottle, right? And I see Gary's product is available that I could buy it today. I could buy it today and I'll still get it delivered today or tomorrow morning, right? I'll choose that versus if, let's say, I'm selling the product and my product is not in Miami, that means it's going to take 2 days to arrive because they're shipping it from Georgia or from a different state, wherever the product is. So that's there are two reasons why you should do a 5-way split in Amazon versus paying placement fees, because better spread is better sales. I've seen personally some people have increased between 7, 10, 12, 13% sales increase by having a better, healthier spread in Amazon. Even though Amazon promises they're going to do the spread, they don't do it fully. And even if they do it, it takes a very long time. So if your competitor starts picking up a lot of steam to sell water bottles, for example, in Miami, Florida, Amazon will start pushing a lot of your competitor's product in that FC. They won't try to push your product there because you're not having any sales in Miami, Florida. So automatically, after some time, your product might never be sitting in a Miami, Florida FC because your competitor is killing it in that area. So keep that in mind when you do pay placement fees, what could happen with that. So that's basically the idea in a very short version. I could go on more in detail, but obviously this is the short version, how to go about it.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ephraim. I love the.
So
the
here I
insight.
just put a breakdown. So I guess you use this cheat sheet if you want. This just breaks it down. Storage, cost per unit, all-in rates, how long it sits. So I'm not going to go through it because it's very late, but I just want you to put on the cheat sheet. Then we have a promotion especially for Gary and his amazing community. You get 2 months free storage at our facility. If you scan this QR code, this is a special QR code, especially for 7-Figure Seller Summit members. So if you scan that, you get through to me, or you could email me and mention that you listen to this webinar, or you could text me anytime. I'm very easygoing with any of the 3 options.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Ephraim. I also dropped a link to book a call with Ephraim, link in the chat. So definitely check that out if you'd like to get some more help. All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Let me get to the rest of the presentation. Thank you, everybody, for staying on. I know we're a little over time. I'm going to finish out for the rest of the Q4 prep timeline. All right. Ephraim, if you have to run, feel free, but you're welcome to stay.
I'll stay for a couple more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm sorry that I went a little over time. I hope I didn't.
No worries. I mean, it's super valuable. Every single thing you're sharing, all the insights on the shipping, super valuable. So, okay, I'm going to high level go through the rest of the Q4 Amazon prep timeline. We touched upon a lot. I'll fill in any gaps that Sebastian and Ephraim did not talk about. And if anything jumps out, feel free to drop question in the chat, or Ephraim as well. Okay, so July 2025, we're very end of July. Okay, so what you want to do is, as we said, review the Q4 product demand from last year. Okay, don't just blindly place an order. Look at how many units you sold in Q4 last year if you have the historical, and then make an estimate, a forecast, right? Do you anticipate more sales this year? Like, let's say 20%, 30%. That's how you should look at inventory forecasting on a high level. Every business is different. I mean, maybe some products don't spike. If your product isn't giftable, it's not going to spike, right? But if your product is giftable, definitely check out the historical data. Okay, so you make an educated decision, not just like a blind guess when placing the orders. Talk to your suppliers, make sure they have the capacity, right? Some of the suppliers are getting slammed, especially after the tariffs, right? Make sure they can fit the order in and, within a reasonable amount of time. Make sure the delivery date makes sense, 30 days, and also the pricing, right? Now is a golden time to negotiate the pricing because of the tariffs. I mean, one of the keys is you have to open your mouth. You have to ask, right? I mean, like, asking you shall receive, right? And at the same time, I mean, worst thing that can happen is they say no. But a lot of times if you say, these tariffs, they're hitting us, we're going to take a hit, but we like you to take a hit as well because you're a longtime partner, and this way we can get through this, right? For a lot of brands, we're seeing that that's working right now because China, to be honest, they're struggling. The economy is struggling. They want your business, right? So it's not easy for anybody right now. Focus on the 20% of the products that yield 80% of the revenue. Also right now, a lot of companies are going out of China for sourcing. Vietnam, Mexico, India, Thailand, even Cambodia, right? All of these are options outside of China that you can reduce your risk, right? And also reduce your potential tariffs. So right now is the time that you want to make that decision, because finding a new supplier in Vietnam is not as easy, right? And then you got to start from scratch. So make sure you make those calls like earlier. If you need some help on sourcing, let me know. I do have a sourcing request form. I have partners in all of those countries that we can help you with, okay? And also prepare your financial strategy. Make sure you have enough working capital for the holiday season. A lot of people overlook this, and the fact that, you got to make sure you have enough cash flow, right, to place these orders. All right. So I'm not sure if everyone has checked their cash flow and bank account, but that's one of the key bottlenecks. And if you do need some help, there's companies out there that can offer funding and lending at rates that make sense. Okay. So if you need some help, AccrueMe is one of our partners that we've worked with for many years. I mean, since the pandemic, they've helped a lot of sellers. If you are interested, I mean, they obviously you have to pre-qualify, but they work especially with e-commerce sellers. So if you have that proven track record, that could be an option for you to get more capital and cash flow. Okay, moving on to August, negotiating with your suppliers. We talked about pricing, storage, delivery. Payment terms. This is another key lever that not a lot of people are talking about, because it's all up, it's all cash flow, right? Cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. I mean, I'm curious, what kind of payment terms are you guys getting right now? Are you just getting like 30-70? I mean, 30% deposit, 17% upon shipment after inspection. I mean, that's like table stakes. Once you build up your relationship with your supplier, you can get a lot better. You can get like zero down 100%. You can even get net 30, net 60. All of these things are negotiable, guys. So these are ways to open up more capital for your cash flow, because imagine if you can do like net 30, net 60, you can potentially postpone the cost of the order until you start getting sales, right? So that can open up your cash flow, all right? So August is when you want to finalize the purchase orders. I mean, the key is we got to make sure, as Ephraim said, the goods got to be, in the Amazon warehouses by October 1st. Right, to make sure that you're in stock for Q4, right? So you got to be placing orders. You got to be negotiating right now for the holidays, okay? One other thing that not a lot of people are talking about is staffing needs, right? Are you guys ready for the bump in orders, right? Do you need to scale? Do you need to hire like a VA? Do you have the right tools? AI, I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can automate, you can delegate. I mean, you can even eliminate using AI. So considering hire VAs as you need. VAA is one of our partners. They have excellent Amazon trading VA, so you don't have to onboard them as much. And so those are the key things in August. And then going to September, that's when you want to monitor production and shipping schedules. A lot of people make this mistake. They just place the order. They assume everything's going to go according to plan. But I hate to tell you guys, but in the real world, I mean, stuff happens, right? You have to monitor to make sure there aren't delays. I mean, just check in on the supplier, basically, I mean, either on WeChat, like every week, right? Just make sure, hey, can you take a picture from the production? Can you let me know the schedule? Is it okay? Just keep checking, because if you don't check, they may let that order slide, right? Especially Q4, this is critical. Monitor it, all right? Confirm AWG 3PL, as Ephraim said. Review the listings. We talked about the holiday SEO keywords. Images, refresh your images. A lot of sellers make this mistake. They keep the same image from day one. They never refresh. I mean, it's like, people get like blind to seeing the same thing. Make sure you refresh, whether it's holiday or, better images. There's AI tools out there. But one of the key things that I see a lot of people ignoring is your conversion rate, right? Are you paying attention to your conversion rate, and especially benchmark it against the category conversion rate of your product? Right now, you can get all of that data in Amazon Seller Central. I mean, at the back end, brand analytics, search query performance report, you can get all of that. The key is, how do you measure up? Is your conversion rate higher or lower than the average? If, let's say the average is 8%, if you're at 6%, that's going to be an uphill battle. I was talking to a seller last week. I mean, she was at 6%. The average conversion rate in her category was 9%. She was losing money on PPC. I mean, like, even make sales on PPC, she was losing money. That's one of the main reasons why. Because Amazon, they want products that convert well, right? Think about it. I mean, it's like if you're the store owner, you want products that sell, right? You don't want like the slow movers. So if your conversion rate is lower, definitely you have to look at ways to improve that, right? I don't have time to get into the specifics, but just be aware that that's one of the key things that you got to do going into Q4. Okay. other than that, finalize your PPC budget. I mean, we're aiming for, more sales, more competition, budget 150 to 200% increase, if not higher. I mean, obviously make sure it makes sense, right? If you're good at PPC, I mean, go for it. I mean, if you have an agency, make sure that you're on board, because one of the other things that I see a lot of sellers ignore is like, your marketing, your PPC, and your inventory. It's like they're the right hand and the left hand, right? They have to talk to each other. So a lot of times, like the right hand's not talking to the left hand, right? They're spending all the money on like the PPC, but the inventory is running out of stock, right? That's not going to make sense. You're just going to burn out the money, right? But the other time, there's a lot of stock and you're paying so much in storage fees. I mean, you gotta accelerate the sale. So that's when the marketing comes in. So make sure the right hand is talking to the left hand. Okay. If you want to try out an AI PPC tool, check out Autron, Autron. They're a new service that completely can automate PPC. I know a lot of you guys say how can what's the algorithm? But based on the case studies I've seen, it is working for a lot of sellers. And one of the keys that AI can do that people can it's very hard. Like they can make 10,000 bid adjustments per day, right? I mean, it's everything is real time. So check that out if you're interested. Lovely. If you can drop the link in the chat, that'd be great. For everybody joining us, we're going to have a cheat sheet with everything that we covered, with links to all of the different items that you're interested in. Okay. And then prep for the holiday deals, lightning deals, prime exclusive deals, Black Friday, Cyber Monday. Make sure you're enrolled in them, and make sure you have the inventory in stock. Okay, October 2025. Some of you guys are launching new products. Okay, I would say October is the absolute deadline to launch products. Any later, then it's too late. Okay, so make sure, ideally earlier, but make sure if you're launching products October, they're launched. Okay, make sure shipments arrive for Black Friday. One thing that nobody talked about that actually a lot of sellers overlook, this is a huge mistake, is after Q4, pay attention to Chinese New Year. I know most people are still sourcing from China, right? Chinese New Year is when the factory shut down for a month. Okay, so if nothing else, write this date down. 2026 Chinese New Year is Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, and it's going to be 2-3 weeks long to March 3rd. Okay, you have to place your orders basically at the end of October and November. These are the orders after Q4. Okay, let's not forget, your sales after Q4, you don't want it to just drop off a cliff, right? So you want to make sure you get those orders in late October to earlier November. So closing out November, December, we're going to execute the Black Friday, Cyber Monday promos, optimize pricing. Okay, this is another lever that nobody talked about. Okay, a lot of times in Q4, people, you can actually, price higher. Okay, people are frenzy mode. They're kind of holidays. They're opening up their wallets, right? So what the price that you had, let's say in Q1, Q4, a lot of times for my products as well, we can price higher. And the other opportunity is when your competitor runs out of inventory, when your competitor goes out of stock, make sure you take advantage of that. That's when your price can go higher, right? So if you were at if your competitor was at $36, you were at $35, you guys are neck and neck. If he's out of stock, I mean, for one of my past products, I was able to price the same product for $39.99 and then $44.99, even $49.99, even higher during Q4. A lot of people overlook that. It's a golden pricing opportunity. If you want to use AI to optimize your pricing, highly recommend Prophecy, Profasee. This is run by Chad Rubin. He's an OG in the seller space, seven-figure seller, AI-based pricing, and then it can optimize both for profit as well as rank and sales. So highly recommend you guys check that out. We have a link as well if you guys are interested. And other than that, I mean, stay in stock, everything that Ephraim was talking about, and transition to year end and prepare for the next year. Okay, so other than that, some big mistakes I see a lot of sellers making. Okay, so these are some of the deadly sins that we're seeing. Waiting too long to place inventory orders. I mean, right now we're already getting late in the game, especially if you want to source from Vietnam or Mexico or India. Make sure you get those orders in now because they take longer to produce than in China. Don't rely solely on AWD. Underestimate working capital and cash flow needs. This is a big one. Make sure you got enough cash in the bank. Negotiate those payment terms. Not preparing for PPC campaigns. 3x competition increases. Failing to scale customer service for holiday volume. Make sure you have enough team support, either AI or VAs. Missing the critical promotion deadlines, Black Friday, and failing to place orders by Chinese New Year. Okay, so that's the overview of Q4 in a nutshell. I hope that's helpful for you guys. If you want to get some additional help, I'm excited to announce that I am launching our Q4 Accelerator, our seven-figure seller Q4 Accelerator program. This is a group coaching program that I'm leading that's starting in August 11th. So it will be a weekly coaching call. So literally, we're going to walk you through the Q4 preparation every step of the way, every week, right? So it's limited to a small group of sellers. We're going to help increase your profitability, double your revenue, get PPC costs under control, help you with avoiding stockouts, inventory planning, and scaling. Okay, so this is a 4-month intensive group coaching program. We'll have step-by-step implementation checklists. I think one of the big things is just accountability. I mean, like a lot of the information is all out there, I mean, with AI, but it's just being able to hold yourself accountable to the group, and also you are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with, right? So if you're a 6-7 figure seller looking to really crush it in Q4, this could be something that I'd love to invite you to. And we have a link that you can join, and you can scan the QR code as well. The link, Lovely, is not in the chat. Can you please repost the link? Okay, so we do have, our doors are open. We're going to close the doors next week on Tuesday. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Any questions? Any questions? We covered a lot today, from the start of Q4 to the end, from the inventory to the sourcing to the marketing. Appreciate everybody for joining us. All right. If not, everyone that joined, you'll get the replay. You also get a cheat sheet summarizing everything with links. And if you are interested, highly recommend, and I'd love to see you in our Q4 Accelerator 7-figure seller program. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Wishing you a great Q4, and we will see you at the next session. Bye, everybody.